He says one will build one, and then the other one will say, I can build one bigger than you.
What year was this again? 600?
This is in the 600s.
Yeah.
We're talking, this started 40 years ago over there. How did the Prophet Muhammad know if he wasn't from divine influence? I dare people to research the signs of the end of the world in Islam. I dare you to. How did he know about this?
I mean, you think it's that much of a stretch to be able to predict that people would build skyscraper towers?
Yeah, but think about it. He said from their people, not anyone else. They were a joke before he came. They were like a forgotten civilization.
Well, maybe he was just talking about people in general.
And he said the Bedouins, and he described how they're going to boast. And think about it. That's what they're doing. They're having a race between each other to build skyscrapers. I'm going to build, oh yeah, Saudi Arabia, we're going to build one bigger than you. It's exactly what he said. What happened to the Christians and the Jews will happen to you also, you Muslims. And they were like, well, what do you mean? Soon you will divide like the branches of a tree. There will be 72 versions of Christians, and only one of the versions is on the true path. This is what the Prophet Muhammad said. There'll be 72 versions of Judaism, only one goes on the true path. He said there'll be 73 versions.
Well, we don't know what anybody
of Islam.
Said. We don't really know what anybody said.
We weren't there, but
we weren't there. Neither were the people who wrote the Bible.
But he said we would be more divided than those religions themselves. So imagine now, we talk about how this man is supposed to be full of whatever. He said that the Islamic faith would divide, it would splinter and fraction off, and that there would be more versions than even the Christians and the Jews have. This is in his tradition.
Yeah.
And that's happened. He predicted ISIS, by the way. I can give you his prophecy. He said, soon there will be those that come out from us, meaning out from the Muslims. They will grow their hair long like women's hair. Go look at the pictures of fucking ISIS, bro. They'll have long hair. He said, soon they will raise black banners, and wherever they go, they will cause fitna, meaning they will cause destruction. And when you wipe out one group, another group will pop up in its place. This is his words. He says, and you will know who they are, for they will name themselves after cities and towns. Who was the leader of ISIS? Al-Baghdadi, right?
Oh, al-Baghdadi, yeah.
This is his prophecy. He said, towards the end of time, there'll be groups that claim to be from us. If you see them praying, you will say, these people are righteous. But they're not. He says, they're the wood of the fire. This was his prophecy. They will be the wood of the fire. And if you hear of them, don't join their ranks. Imagine now. This is the Prophet Muhammad's words, peace be upon him. He predicted ISIS and terrorism. He said there will be groups that claim to be from us. This is in our prophecy. There's no fucking, like, you guys are all debating and stuff. The Muslims are like, this is the first time the Muslim scholars are like, it looks like we're probably, like, we're getting close to the end of time. Like, the Christians have been saying Jesus is coming. We believe he's coming too. But this is the first time, like, our scholars are like, it's not looking too good. Like, it might actually be the time soon. Like, the Prophet Muhammad said that towards the end of time, the buildings of Mecca would reach for the skies. If you look at Saudi Arabia today, they even built a massive clock tower. He even said, soon the time will come where the shadow of time covers the Kaaba. Kaaba's that black box that the Muslims pray towards. They don't worship it. For your tools in the comments.
Black box.
You know, the box in Mecca that all the Muslims paint. Pull up Kaaba, man.
How do you spell it?
K-A-B-A-A.
Kaaba black box?
The black cube.
The black cube.
That the Muslims pray towards. Pull up an image of that. So now, pull up that picture towards the right. You got these guys out there trying to say, the Muslims, they worship the box. No, we don't worship the box, because during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, they used to get on top of the box and call prayer. You're not going to stand on top of your own idol. Could you imagine a Hindu standing on top of a statue of Shiva? Or a Christian standing on top of a statue of Jesus? Oh, they worship the black stone. No, we don't. There's a concept in Islam known as niyyah. Niyyah means the intention.
Where is this thing?
This is in the heart of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
We believe that this is where Abraham constructed the temple to worship the one God. He left his wife in the wilderness. Now, you see that clock tower?
Yeah.
That's one of the signs of the end of the world in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, please double research this stuff. Please double check my references, because if I make an error, I'm responsible for the information that I give you as a human being to God. I'm responsible to God, not to Danny Jones, not to Google, to God. If I give you information that's incorrect or that can manipulate your opinion without giving you facts. His prophecy towards the end of time is that soon the buildings of Mecca will reach for the sky. The mountains will be pierced, which they just did. They built tunnels right through the mountains. Okay. He said this during his life. And he said, this is well recorded. He said that soon the shadow of time will cover that black box. At the time, they were looking at, well, shadow of time. How can time have a shadow? You can't see time, right?
You think he was talking about a clock tower?
Look, when that sun goes behind that tower, it casts its shadow over the box. They call it the Saha, which literally means the watch. The locals call it time, the time tower. How could he have known, man? How did he know 1400 years ago? How did he know that he said, soon the Bedouins of our people? Look at the deserts of Arabia 67 years ago. It was just sand there. And a bunch of camel riders, literally. Milking the camels and drinking the milk and eating dates. And hee-haw, that's what they were doing out there, okay? Today, the biggest skyscrapers in the world, where are they?
Dubai.
That's right. He said soon the time will come where the Bedouins of our people will compete with one another to build buildings that touch the sky. These are his exact words. Not, oh, I'm guessing. He says one will build one and then the other one will say, I can build one bigger than you.
What year was this again? 600?
This is in the 600s.
Yeah.
We're talking, this started 40 years ago over there. How did the Prophet Muhammad know if he wasn't from divine influence? I dare people to research the signs of the end of the world in Islam. I dare you to. How did he know about this?
I mean, you think it's that much of a stretch to be able to predict that people would build skyscraper towers?
Yeah, but think about it. He said from their people, not anyone else. They were a joke before he came. They were like a forgotten civilization.
Well, maybe he was just talking about people in general.
And he said the Bedouins, and he described how they're going to boast. And think about it. That's what they're doing. They're having a race between each other to build skyscrapers. I'm going to build oh yeah, Saudi Arabia. We're going to build one bigger than you. It's exactly what he said. He said soon the time will come where a man becomes a woman and a woman becomes a man. And they will dress like one another. The family unit will be destroyed and the bastards will take over. Bastard children. Children born out of wedlock, they will be so full of rage, they will destroy all those that are around them. That's the country we're in right now. The bastard generation. You said that on my first time with you, but I was right about it. The bastard generation, 90% out of wedlock. These children are full of rage. They commit 90% of violent crime because they don't have a father. Because their mother didn't want them. They were conceived with no love. Therefore, they show no love to the world. They were conceived out of deadly sins, and that's why all we have from them is death and chaos. This is the bastard generation. He predicted that also. He said that the war of all wars would start over the Euphrates River. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but that's the footwork. Syria, Iraq, Iran, Turkey. That's the Euphrates. He said a war will start there that will engulf the whole entire world. It'll be basically Armageddon. Basically Armageddon, that supposedly there's something under that river, under the Euphrates River, that the whole entire world's going to fight over. Maybe they already know, man. Maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe these powers that be already know. Maybe they read the prophecy and they went to go see what's under that river. What is under that river of the Euphrates? This is also in the Bible, by the way. That when the Euphrates River runs dry, there's end of the world stuff. But in any event, this is an episode on its own where we can go over prophecy of the end of the world in Islam. And I'd like to pick it up maybe the next time around. It would be an amazing episode. Just talk about the signs of the end of the world and maybe the correlations to Christian doctrine.